Hello everyone. You see these flowers? We're here in the mountain, and according to someone who lives here in BC, close to, well, the person I'm living with actually, they said that this place is a desert. And if so, and it is actually, because when I feel it, it's so dry. Let's look down below and you can see it's so dry. So dry. How do these flowers survive? Well, there are a lot of flowers and edible plants that survive in the desert. They've learned to adapt to these harsh climates. I don't know if you can see, but over there was a red moon. Beautiful place I'm living in here. Every place or new place that you experience is beautiful. You just have to get used to different situations, different climates, different living conditions. Some places you might need to sleep in a tent. Some places you might be in a big home. Some places you might have a river or a lake for you to enjoy. Some places might be dry like this. I'm gonna go right to the edge and let's take a look at the scenery. The scenery here is breathtaking, just like many places around the world. Kind of hazy, you don't really see the mountains that well. It's really a magical place. Dry desert-like area. A lot of places are becoming dry, desert-like. And some are becoming wet, flooded. Take a look at this ground, for example. So we look at the soil here. Look at the soil. It's so dry. Look at that. Very dry. But at the same time, it feels like it has some moisture in it. Look at my hand now. It looks like it has some moisture in it. I think this used to be a cattle farm or some kind of livestock farm, because there's the fence, barbed wire fence around the area. So maybe one time or another might have been used for grazing animals, and maybe that's why it looks like this. My fingers are still, I have to wash them, but soil feels so much different than regular soil. It's not black like dark, rich soil should be, but brown, very brown, almost gray in color. almost 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna head off to my bed. Not sleep, of course, but read, you know, do my meditation, little meditation, and brush my teeth and all that. When I'm walking here in this meadow, I feel like the grass and all the plants down below are like, these I have shorts on, they really pinch me. They're very dry. And even if we do get a couple hours of rain or one day of rain, it won't be enough, because look at how little water is in the soil. Let's check this again. It feels dry, but at the same time it feels like there's some kind of moisture in it. Maybe it's just because it's too dry. I wonder how far you would have to go until you actually see or feel wet soil. Look at that. Wow. So I want to leave you with this thought. And in fact, I'm reading this book now on living in the present moment. And I'm just probably 1 quarter or 1/3 of the way in, and already I've gained a lot through this book. I'm gonna be reviewing it and talking about it a little bit when I'm finished, because I think good books really deserve attention, and people need to know about these ideas and these concepts in the book. And so it's a little bit green too. It looks a little grayish green. So I'm going to be posting my thoughts on that when I'm finished. But ultimately, the book goes into why we don't live in the basically how to achieve happiness, how to live in the present moment, which is basically being happy at every moment. And this is through foregoing our thoughts, especially negative thoughts. Now I think in some way, like, I agree with a lot of the ideas, most of the ideas, but then again, positive thoughts can actually in some way really help us, and positivity has really helped me throughout my life. But again, positivity does not bring us to the present moment, does not solve all of our problems that we're faced with. Because any problem that we're faced with comes from a thought, or stems from a thought. So if we had a bad event happen to us, or maybe something bad happened to us, bad things happen to us because we are ultimately thinking about these things as bad problems. And so I just describe in a lot of my books and my videos and articles how we should stray away from negative thoughts and go towards positive thoughts. Who's down there? I don't know if you can see, but somebody is down there. Dogs and people. Amazing. So, does positive thoughts or positivity, does that solve all of our problems? And the answer is no, because we would not have any further problems. And the problem is, unfortunately, we still have problems, and all of us do, because our thoughts create the problems, especially the negative thoughts. So one way to, and I'm still learning, and I'm still myself still have a lot of problems to bear with, but I'm learning, and I'm trying to not have thoughts, negative thoughts especially. But when you have positive thoughts, you tend to sometimes have negative thoughts in the background. So if you say, I'm beautiful, and then there's something that you don't like about yourself, then you might think, oh, I'm not beautiful anymore because this thing is now, I got a pimple or whatever on my face, and I don't like that now. But I think we have to love ourselves, and love everything, and love everyone, and just learn to love. Once we love, and some people say, well, there's a opposite to every positive thought, and love, there's a positive to love. Maybe that's ugliness, maybe that's not loving, whatever it is. So there's the moon. I don't know if you can see it, but it's beautiful. It was bright red. It was so beautiful, and it's still beautiful, of course. And opposite of beautiful is probably ugly. So you understand there's ugliness in the world. Wow, in need of rain. I'm walking here, and my foot is like going through the ground. It's really in need of, my foot is going right through the ground. Look at that. Wow, it's making all these little holes there because, well, that's all I wanted to say. Take care, everybody.